Mining, what's going on? Welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters, and today I just wanted to do a quick video about the craziness that's going on in the world and how that is affecting the mining industry here in Australia. First off, I'm just going to have a look at this picture that got posted yesterday, and the real thing that we're looking at down here at the moment is nickel, because nickel apparently went so high. They've closed it. They've actually closed the market because apparently it went over $100,000 US at one stage the other night just before they closed it, and so it's a short squeeze. There's not enough physical nickel in the world to supply everybody that's been trying to buy it. So as the supply chains open up, you will see that nickel price probably stay very high, because it is us and the Russians that have the big nickel deposits and are producing all the nickel. Indonesia's got a big nickel mine as well, but as you can see, these are the nickel mines in Australia. It should be noted that they're all underground, and most of these nickel mines are producing about 20,000 tonne of nickel a year. There's a big smelter refinery in Kalgoorlie that refines it all and then ships it out overseas. Now, just to give you an idea, sort of 3 years ago, these mines were probably turning over 250 million a year, and at this price, at 52,000 a tonne, all those mines are all basically billion-dollar mines now, so they're turning over $1 billion a year if the nickel price stays at that level. Now, it had already sort of headed up to around the 30,000 Australian a tonne before it went crazy, so it's already significantly gone up. Copper's significantly gone up as well as gold. That's the high that it reached yesterday. It's dropped $100 since then. And you're just going to get these big flows as people try and work out what's going on in the world as everybody repositions their supply lines. And that's going to be good for us here in Australia, because we do have a significant amount of different minerals that we mine here in the country, and so the way that it's all being split up the middle, it looks like we'll probably do very well out of that. But only industry that will do well out of it, I feel at this stage, is going to be the mining industry. I think we're going to go back very much to the situation that we had, a decade ago, from the early 2000s into 2012, where it was a two-tiered economy here in Australia. There was mining, which was going off its head, and there was everything else that was really sluggish, or if not in full-blown recession. And the reason that I say that is that because of what's going on and the sanctions that have been put into place, there's a lot of unintended consequences that I think that are coming back that people really haven't put a lot of thought into. And there's going to be a number of big companies that are going to either need bailing out or go bankrupt. And, generally there's going to be an overall recession in the mainstream. But however, because, we're Australia and we've got lots of stuff to sell the world, that's going to be our out. And all I'm trying to say to people at this stage is that if you haven't tried to get into the mining industry yet, then you probably really should start thinking about it, because it's going to be where the long-term secure jobs are as we move back into this two-tiered economy, where you've got mining that's going off and you've got everything else that's struggling. And it's not hard to see how it's going to happen. Fuel prices have spiked. They're not going to come down anytime soon. Everything's going to get more expensive. There's banks are going to go bankrupt because the sanctions mean that companies on both sides of the sanctions don't feel obligated to pay their debts. I saw a business article about the planes that are being rented to or leased to the Russian airlines, and they're just going to nationalise them. So the lease companies are out about $5.5 billion US. They're just going to have to write it off. And, that's just one industry, and that's how that one industry's been affected. And you can magnify that over all the industry, over every industry. And it doesn't take long to work out that, there's going to be a big crash, and it's going to be a matter of picking the pieces back up again and seeing where everything lands. But the one thing that's going to soldier on through it all is mining, because that's what it does. I'm not trying to share an opinion about what's going on in the world at all. This is all about just looking impartially at, what's going on and getting an idea of, which way to go with trying to get a job. I know people will want to jump back into the coal jobs that are springing up around the place because coal's jumped just as much as everything else has. But what you need to think about is that, are you still going to have that coal job in 5 years' time, or in 12 months' time when it all settles down a bit and it goes back to a bit, everybody gets used to the new supply lines? Are you going to have some crazy person trying to glue themselves to the front gate to shut your mine down? If you're in a coal mine, that's very well possible, but if you're in a copper, a nickel, or a gold mine, or one of the other base metals that's used to make these batteries that's going to go in all these cars and on wall units and all that sort of stuff around the world, then you're probably going to have a secure job because people are still going to need that sort of stuff. And that's what I'm just trying to explain to people. When you think about what move you're going to make, just think about it long term, and where the demand for it's all going to come from, and is there anything that's going to blindside you? And unfortunately with coal, and I do not agree with this, but it is what it is. You get, after everything settles down, the greenies are going to be back out there laying across tracks, or trying to glue themselves to your front gate, or put themselves in a position where the coal can't be shipped to the port, or whatever reason, or start a legal challenge. I mean, the things that people have done in the last 2 years to shut coal down, just it amazes me, and I don't understand it. I don't. Because we have some of the best coal in the world that, significantly reduce emissions compared to what they're throwing through their coal power stations at the moment. And with the way, the things have happened, hopefully, it comes good for a long time. But, I'm not holding my breath with that. I think the nutters will be back within 6 months trying to shut down your coal mines again. Whereas, like I said before, copper, gold, nickel, all the base metals, that's what you need to make an iPhone. And there's not too many greenies you don't see without a smartphone around. And, or batteries, it's how they think they're going to save the planet, is through batteries. And to make all these batteries, they need all these metals. So I hope that gives you a little bit of an idea of what I'm thinking about with what's going on in the world. Obviously you can use the sponsor's DIY training program to get your mining knowledge up to speed, to get yourself into a coal, a nickel, or a gold mine underground. If you want some help, then have a look at the Win-Win package. The ladies at Win-Win help you out with your resume and interview prep and give you a good dial on getting you ready for the interviews and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, if you want to check out that one and go that direction, Alana and Jess at Win-Win will help you out with that. So I hope you found that information helpful, and like I said, prices have gone absolutely crazy, so just be aware that things are going to be in flux, and I really do think that we're moving back into a two-speed economy where there's mining and everything else. So if you've got any more questions, please let me know. If you could like the video and share it around, that would be fabulous. And thanks.